Hey, hey, welcome to this beautiful episode of my podcast around the kitchen table with myself, Laura Island, where we bring things that are maybe a little bit tough, a little bit hard, a little bit love to you as a woman listening to this, knowing that you are not alone. So welcome. It's actually Thursday today, Thursday the 2nd of October at 13:46 to be precise. Welcome to my new office. Not my new dogs. They're just barking at a squirrel in the garden of the new house. So that's just classic. The minute you hit record, right? And kind of, I guess, what I want to bring to you today is a little bit out of the ordinary. You may call it the extraordinary, but actually not really extraordinary in the way that we would think, wow, that's amazing, this is extraordinary. It's actually finding the extra in the ordinary. And part of what I want to bring to you today is not just my story, it's many other women's stories. In fact, I'm going to share some with you and with their permission. And I want to share it because actually what this whole move has brought to me has been so much. Got a flickery eye now, which is a bit weird. And that flickery eye has come from my blood pressure being pretty high right now. Big up anyone in the comments watching this that struggles with their blood pressure and knows what that feels like. And it's not been a thing that I've really recognized before, even though it's massively in my family. When I say massively, it caused my brother to have a kidney transplant. It's huge in our family, and it's another wake-up call, right? A wake-up call to truly honor myself and to listen to what my body needs. And of course, I've just moved house. I've had a really, really busy summer season. We've come out of the summer season straight into moving house. And now it's October. I don't even know how it got to October. So, like I say, today is a little bit different because I thought rather than have a theme, which I don't always have a theme, let's face it, and even if I do, I don't often know what that theme is. And then by the time I'm actually speaking to you, I've gone off on a tangent in a million different directions. I usually make myself a few notes just to keep myself in check. That's not there today because there's some stuff moving with me and some of it's heavy. And even my microphone isn't working. So I'm literally raw and real. And the last time I did raw and real, my tech just went skitsy and nothing worked. And I was like, I'm not doing it anymore. But anyway, I'm here and I'm back. So apparently I am going to continue with my podcast because despite the fact that many people say to me, I have too many things on the go at any one time. And actually it takes a long time to get a podcast up and running. And it takes a long time for a podcast to kind of, it's a full-time job getting a podcast out there. I agree. It is, and it can be. But I don't record this podcast for you. That may sound crazy. I record this podcast as much as anything else for me because it's a way for me to actually sit just for half an hour and like get my head in order and kind of really get what's moving me out. And I know that if it's affecting me and I'm feeling this stuff, maybe you are too. And that for me is where we begin to shift this pattern of I'm on my own. I don't have anyone to connect with. As women, I was a single mum for 9 years, right? I had loads of women in my life, mostly single mothers in the same boat. And we kind of used to support each other and it was great, but we were all still shit scared of asking each other for help. It was ridiculous. It was like, if the offer came, even when the offer came, I'd be like, oh, can I say yes? Because they're all really busy too. And I don't want to be a burden. And And all of that is just such bullshit, right? Let's call a spade a spade. It's bullshit. If you needed help and you asked me for help, am I going to say no? No, it's going to be a privilege for me to step in and help you. And yeah, would I ask for help if I needed it? No, because I'm stronger than that, right? That's how I got brought up. I can do this by myself. And we need each other. We need each other. There, I said it. It's there. We need each other. And this sister wound runs so deeply. And it runs into kind of the witch wound when, we were pitted against each other, right? I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm going to tell you a few stories today. So just buckle up, right? We're going to go on a ride. I'm going to tell you this first story. And this first story was just something I read on Facebook the other week. So, Chinese whispers, I may have changed it a little bit by the time it comes out of my mouth. But the gist of this story, and apologies, because I can't remember who it was that posted it, but I will probably go back and find it and let you know. But it was a story of a teacher. And my brain is kind of going now, we don't need to tell this story. You've already told it, and I have told it a few times. So apologies if you've heard it before, but I'm going to share it again anyway, because the message is so flipping important. This teacher went round her class of, like, say, 8-year-olds, primary school kids, and she said to them all, right, so I'm going to whisper in your ear if you're a witch or not a witch. So she went round the class and she whispered in everybody's ear. And then she got to the end and she said, right, so with that information, you need to get into groups and you need to form groups of 4 or 5 of you. And you need to make sure there is not a witch amongst you. And she said it was tangible, the switch in the air where everybody was curious but suspicious, and they didn't want a witch and they didn't know how to find the witch, and they were calling people out, and they were kind of saying, you're the witch, and they were like making it really, really mean, and it wasn't very nice and it wasn't comfortable to be around. And she said it was a really hard thing to watch. And at the end, she got the groups all together and she said, right, so put your hand up if you're a witch. And nobody put their hand up. And she said, are you not putting your hand up because you don't want it to be known that you're a witch? And they were like, no, nobody put their hand up. And she said, do you know why that nobody's put their hand up? Because I didn't tell anyone they were a witch. But your behavior changed and the way that you treated each other changed because you believed something that I had told you that to be true, that, there was going to be a witch amongst you, and you went out there looking for it. One genius teacher. Thank you. Thank you for teaching all of those things in that one lesson. So many things in that one lesson. Secondly, when I share that story with you, what does it do to you? What does it make you feel? I remember being the kid on the end of a horrible thing that went around school. I can't even remember now what it was. It's like it's blanked out of my mind, but I can remember feeling like they were all talking behind my back, but what they were saying wasn't true. I hadn't done the thing that they were saying I had done. I think I'd kissed a boy or something, and I was like, I haven't kissed a boy, right? Like, I'm not interested. I just hadn't kissed the boy. But I remember how that made me feel. Now remember that happened in real life. Those women who were witches were potentially just like, I'm going to say you and me, but I'm going to speak for myself, me. They had, spaces full of, I'm looking behind me because over in this corner, which I'm not going to show you right now because it's still probably stacked up with boxes and rubbish. Yeah, it really is. But in that corner, there are herbs, there is essential oils, I light candles, I light incense, I have flowers around. I believe in the elements, the earth. I believe in looking after myself with the seasons and with nature. I'm a witch. I haven't been able to say that in this lifetime very often. For fear that, if I do, something might happen to me. Now, that's not the case. Something is unlikely to happen to me, other than someone's probably going to go, yes, sure you are. Like, what does that mean, right? But there would have been a time. And if you believe in past lives, I know, because I've had those deja vu moments and I've had those things where I felt really, nobody could put anything around my neck. for many, many years. I can't go into deep water. There are so many things that I know are not of this lifetime. So I'm speaking really openly and really candidly here because, if you're my tribe and you get me, you'll get me. If you're not, I don't care. Just move on, right? Like, it doesn't matter to me. Your beliefs are your beliefs and mine are mine. And I'm not preaching them at you. I'm just sharing with you my story. But why I'm sharing that with you is this sister wound, this witch wound. They run deeply. We've been pitted against each other. And it still exists. It's still there. It's still very much a part of the world we live in. You look now at the way women are being treated around the world. I mean, you look at the way humans are being treated around the world, but women especially. I have a friend at the moment, an amazing woman, who's currently stuck in Istanbul. Now, let me tell you a story, and I really want you to imagine this story. Close your eyes if it feels good for you to kind of listen that way and for you to listen deeper. You walk into a well-known branded store in Istanbul and you are menopausal, stressed, busy, your phone is going non-stop. You're with your mum, you're on holiday, but you've gone to Istanbul for an appointment. You've been in and out of Turkey and Istanbul 4 or 5 times over the last 12 months with different appointments. You know it well. You know this store really well. You are somebody who has shopped this store over and over and over, world over, online. You're a prolific customer. You love what they do. And you have really never put a foot wrong in life in a way that would be seen as criminal. We all fuck up, right? Like, we fuck up. How many of you that are watching this are menopausal women, If you watch this, put in the comments, menopausal. This month, right? October is Menopause Awareness Month. I'm not being funny. If you're in it, you're fucking aware of it, right? Like, you don't need a month to say, hey, yeah, do you know what? I know it. Like, I'm in it. We're in it. I've been in it for 10 years because I had a hysterectomy 10 years ago. But anyway, this story could go off. Now you know why often I use some notes to keep me on track, because I could go off on a really big tangent for quite some time. But menopause, brain fog, forgetfulness, exhaustion, overwhelm, all of those things are true and real. Menopause isn't just hot flushes and everything drying up, right? There's some really big things. My blood pressure right now through the roof is also one of the first things the doctor said to me yesterday, the nurse said to me on the phone yesterday, was like, what's going on with your blood pressure? How's your menopause? And I just laughed. I was like, so she got it. It's like, it's real, it's there. It's not just a thing, it's a transition that we all have to go through as women, but the symptoms of it are real. So you walk into this well-known store that you've shopped in for a long time. You're in your bright summer clothes. You hardly go in inconspicuously. And you're carrying your bag and you collect your stuff and you put it in your bag, the same as you do often. And this particular well-known store is like one of the highest tech stores on the high street. And you put your bag into the where you pay, and it tells you what you've got, adds it all up. It's weird. I've done it. It's like weird. Freaks me out slightly. Anyway, she forgets to do that bit because she's on her phone. She walks out the shop and then she gets literally 2 seconds out of the shop and she's like, fuck, shit, I didn't pay. Turns around, comes back in, explains to them, this thing just happened. I'm going to go and pay. While she spoke to the person, the shopkeeper, the people in the shop working, they were like, yeah, great, no worries. Like, we can sort this out. Goes to the shop. While she's paying, she gets manhandled by men. She gets taken off by these men. She gets locked in a room. And there's a whole story and it's hers to share eventually. But needless to say, this happened in July. And this woman, and I get emotional talking about it because I can't imagine. She has a child back here. He's grown up, but she has a child, dogs, a house, a a thriving business that relies on her. And she is stuck, stranded, still in Istanbul. Well, she's in Turkey. She's back in Istanbul now. She even was shopped in the same fucking shop yesterday because she needed some jeans. It's the only place she can get them from because she's dropped 4 dress sizes in the last 2 months and she was not big anyway. This is the most horrific story. We need this story to be out in the world and to be heard, and it will. It's coming. But I will never shop in Zara ever again because finally she found out, yet just 2 days ago, after 3 months, and a lawyer who came via the embassy and the consulate. So please, nobody tell me that she should get involved with that embassy and the consulate. She's done everything she possibly can. £3,500 this lawyer has cost her so far, along with the fortune it's cost her to stay out there. She's not having a jolly. She's not out there. Like if that had happened here in the UK to a non-UK person, and they were told they had to stay, they would get given benefits, they would get given support, they would get given 3 meals a day, and they would get a roof over their head. She's had to do all of this herself. She got finally in front of a judge 2 days ago with this lawyer who actually she thought she was getting in front of the judge who hadn't even made an appointment, just showed up at the court, and the judge just basically wouldn't have anything to do with them. Of course not. But she finally found out that actually it's not Turkey and Turkish law that are prosecuting her. It's Zara. Zara for £53, which has already been paid for. And it carries the maximum sentence it carries is 7 years in prison. 7 years in prison. Like, what's the fucking point? Some people got caught over here in the UK, £5,500 worth of shoplifting from this particular from Zara, and they got given some community service, right in the UK. She's in Turkey, so it's got nothing to do with Turkey. It's got nothing to do with being outside of that. It's Zara that are prosecuting her. Because somebody in an office probably has no idea of this full story. She's been treated appallingly. And it's still ongoing. And it could be up to a year before this even comes to court and she's stuck on a travel ban. She can't get out of the country. She could be here. That travel ban should have been overturned within 2 weeks of her being given it, and she would have been back here in the UK. And yes, if she needed to, she would have gone back out there and stood her, taken whatever. But she was fixing the problem. Had she have realised this, right, and kept walking, none of this would have been an issue. She has a statement from Zara, which she put out yesterday on social media. You can see it on our social media. That basically in this statement, there's 3 different outcomes, 3 different things that happened. Like, this is how ridiculous this statement is. It doesn't even make any sense, and it shouldn't stand at all because it's just not, it's wrong for a start. There's 3 different outcomes, 3 different things. She walked out and she realised she hadn't paid and she came back. True. Secondly, she walked out the shop and the security stopped her. Not true, didn't happen. And the third one is that she didn't actually get out of the store with the items because they found them in her bag. Equally not true. And there's a CCTV that's been leaked out that had to have been come from inside Zara. Again, totally illegal that it was leaked. Or it would have been over here. I'm assuming it would have been over there, but I'm sure it was paid for by some pap over here. That shows her walking out the store and shows her walking back in the store. So the whole thing just begs belief. So please, like, if this means anything to you, please connect with it, share her story. Her name is Caris Nelms. Share it. She's a comedian. I'm not sharing with you anything that she wouldn't be okay with. I was on the phone for an hour this morning, but also, I met this woman 6 years ago probably, and we're not close. We don't know each other well, but I just love her to bits. And we saw each other last at Glastonbury Festival this year. So I'm not telling you this because it's some random story. I'm telling you this because I know this woman and I'm in touch with this woman, and it breaks my heart. But also, how many of us just turn our backs on something that needs our support? If you shop in Zara, stop. If you know anyone in Zara, go out there and share this and get contact. Tag Zara in a post. Write to them. Just it just is ridiculous. So that's one story. So there's the witch story. Then there's what happened to Keris. I have another sister who we supported for a long time who is stuck in Morocco, can't come back to the UK again for something equally as stupid and ridiculous, um and is just stuck trying to get back here with her child. Again, it's not my story to share. Equally ridiculous. There are so many things that happen in the world that we cannot turn our back on. And as women, we need to find a way to come together no matter what, to lean into sisterhood, to not get wrapped up in the world that we live in that doesn't allow us to connect and communicate, to be present with each other, not to be fixed, not to rescue. We call it frapping in our community. We don't fix, we don't rescue, we don't advise, and we don't project. It's not about that. We have a free community on Facebook that's got 3,500 women in, and it kind of, like all Facebook groups, after a while, it kind of died a death and it's kind of being resurrected. I've always been there. I've showed up for 5 years in this group, but the algorithm and all that kind of jazz. So it's changed slightly, and I'm ready to step back in more fully. I'm ready for you to step back in. I'm ready for us to connect more on a level every day where we don't just talk, yeah, hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm great, thanks. Or we don't like, hey, you're just amazing. We're like, well, this thing, I just got in a charity shop, because we don't want to be seen to be something. Let's be something. Let's get passionate about what it is to be a woman in this world, to share our superpowers, because frankly, we're all fucking epic and awesome as human beings, but as women, we've got some serious intuition when we really listen to it. So I don't even know why I jumped on it this on Thursday rather than Friday morning, or why I am sharing this post with you, but I feel you. I feel the women of this world. I feel the pain and the suffering that we have all gone through, all of us. I feel the sense and the absolute no sense nonsense of the world. My son came home a few weeks back, and it's going to be quite disrespectful now because I can't remember his name. I want to say Charlie. I don't know. It's part of me that wants to Google it now, make sure I've got that right. This guy that got shot in the US because of his views and all that stuff. And this isn't political. I'm not getting political. I can't remember. Yeah, Charlie Kirk. There you go. Not getting political about any of it. But my son came home and he was like, yeah, but he talks sense on, like, some things he says, it talks about abortion and da, da, da. And I went, oh, hang on a minute. My son's now 20. I was like, your mum's had 2 abortions, right? He was like, what do you mean? And I said, well, there are 2 times where I've terminated a pregnancy. And again, I'm sharing this with you because I don't know, this is where the conversation is going. Your views are your views, mine are mine. One was through a sexual assault and rape. I was very young. And the second was because I had 12 miscarriages, and I had 12 pregnancies, and I've had 8 miscarriages and 2 terminations on my 2 kids. I'm very lucky that my kids made it through. One of those terminations was a medical termination because of my history, and it just wasn't happening anyway. But it was still a termination. We get treated. It's our bodies. And he was like, yeah, but you didn't go and have it just because you believed that you could have sex with whoever and do what you want, and without any contraception. If something happened, you would just go and get rid of it. It was okay. And I'm like, I don't know that many women that would take it lightly and would think that's an option. Talking about extreme cases, whereas actually when people treat it as a whole, like suddenly like we're all tarred with the same brush, put in the same bubble. So, that happening meant I shared something really deep with my son and opened his eyes to some other things that his mother's been through. Life is tough and can be really fucking tough for some. So I'm going to sign off now because I don't know how long I've been rambling for. Itchy eye, excuse me. How long I've been rambling for. Promise to come back another time with some notes. But come to sisterhood. That's what this message really is all about. Come to sisterhood. Come to a place and come back again to a place where you can find deep love and respect for another woman, to create space, to allow a place where they can speak into. I'm not going to use the word safe space. Go and watch. There's a whole podcast around safe spaces. That's just bullshit, right? Like, how can you allow someone to just be fully themselves and be in their presence and feel everything that they're feeling? But wherever you're watching this or listening to this, I will put in the show notes about the people that I'm sharing about Karis and about the situation. And as a GoFundMe, you can support that to help her to go and live right now, just to live and to get the support and help that she needs. I found out today that she's had an amazing therapist working with her for free, just to support her because she was suicidal. So many ways that she's been failed. So what can you do today to reach out to another sister, to reach out to someone that you know well, maybe you don't know them well, to offer them a place to connect with you, to offer them a place to share, to let them know that you were just thinking of them and you wanted to say hi, to just be in space together, connected together. And come and join our Facebook community, a bit of shameless marketing. Don't sit here thinking I've got no one. There's like lots of women just like you, just like me, very normal witches, women that choose something different. And we're here for you. And then there's the sanctuary, which is our paid membership, which is a place for you that you can drop in deeper, dive deeper, go on to some really healing journeys together. And then there's our retreats and our gatherings. Like, there's so many ways to connect. But whatever you do connect. It's now 14:14. So I'm going to call it a day. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now. Over and out.